Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Dramatic Budgets. If this is your first time here, then my name's Lisa and I am on a debt-free and hopefully savings journey to get rid of what started out as just under £11,000 worth of debt. If you have been with me before, then thank you so much for coming back for yet another video. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I've just run round to my mum's and back for something, so I'm a little bit out of puff, but I really need to get this video done. Today is New Year's Eve, so this will be one of the last videos obviously that I film before the new year, but by the time you see this it will already be 2023. So I would just like to say thank you to all of my subscribers and all those that aren't subscribed but do actually watch my videos, for your support since for the last sort of 5 months since I started this channel. It really has been an amazing time for me, and I can't thank you enough. I hope everyone has had an absolutely fantastic festive period, no matter what it is that you've done and no matter what you are doing this evening. For New Year's, I hope you have a fantastic time and there are not too many sore heads on New Year's Day. So because it's New Year's Eve, I am obviously doing this check-in a day early, not a week, due to the fact that, again, like last week, tomorrow is New Year's Day. I am not planning on doing anything budget-wise tomorrow at all. My plan for tomorrow is to go and visit my other half's mum, have a meal with my family in the afternoon, and then go back to his house and essentially do nothing. We're gonna have a little bit more of a drink probably and a few more snacks and stuff, and try and get rid of all of the food that we possibly can before next week. So I am doing this a little bit early, which does mean that not all of my direct debits have gone out, but that is because they are due to go out on the 1st, but obviously the 1st is a Sunday, which means that they won't go out until at least Monday, which means they wouldn't be part of this week's budget anyway, so we're going to just travel them on to next week. It has been a little bit of a spendy week. I was doing okay, and then my mum's asked me to do a couple of errands for today because she's been on nights, so I've ended up with absolutely nothing left. So yeah, and obviously if you have watched any of my previous videos or seen my Instagram, you'll know I've had a lovely leaking boiler since Christmas Eve, which is on my spending this week, and I'll explain when I get to it sort of what we've used for that, because it is now fixed, thankfully. Yes, I still had heating on hot water, so that wasn't an issue. It was just literally that it was leaking, and that needed fixing. So I will just bring you in a little bit just so you can kind of see what I've got on here. So this month's budget started on Boxing Day, which was the 26th. Obviously we're finishing it today on the Saturday, which is New Year's Eve, which is not quite a full week, but we'll not worry too much about that. So obviously I did absolutely no spending at all on Boxing Day. Did nothing, so that's all good. That's that. There we go. On Tuesday I wasn't at work because it was the Christmas Day bank holiday, so I went to Asda to do my big food shop that I tend to do every time I get paid. That came to £77.67. I tend to go to Asda just because they do good deals, but I also get I have the rewards app and I have a blue light card because I'm an NHS worker, so I get 10% off at the moment, so that helps me with my my food budget. So that was the food. And then because I've started running again, because I've signed myself up to a 10k that's going to happen in March, I bought some protein powder just as sort of like a recovery thing after my runs. So I went onto My Protein and they were having a deal, so I spent £19.48 on protein powder, which seems a lot, but they were having an 80% off sale, so I shouldn't need to buy any more for quite a while. So that was the Tuesday. Wednesday I went back to work. I spent £1.09 in WH Smith's. I think that was on crisps, I think. I'd made soup, didn't like the soup, so ended up not eating the soup. I went and filled my car with fuel, so that was £46.44, so that was all good. My bank account has this thing where they have this save the change, so anytime I am not in my overdraft and I have any change left at the end of the week, they automatically put it into my savings account. So that was £1 that they put in on Wednesday, and they were doing a collection for one of my colleagues who's feeling a little bit down. There's a lot going on at the minute, so I gave them £5 towards getting her a present. Thursday, I nipped to Asda for a couple of little things that I needed, that my mum asked me to get, so that was £3.09. Again, they put 2p into my savings account, and then one of my colleagues is actually leaving today, so again they were doing a collection for leaving presents for her, so that was another £5, so I took that out of my own spending money. So I've just remembered where the other money didn't go, so because I hadn't taken anything to work that day, so I needed some lunch. So I went to WH Smith and spent £4.29 on one of their meal deals. I've just remembered. I forgot to get a receipt, which is why I'd forgotten about it until just now. And then yesterday, I spent £2.15 in WH Smith's at work again. Yeah, this is the problem with having spending money. I kind of want to go and spend it. And I am in that sort of Christmassy New Year thing of just eating myself out of house and home. And then I spent £388.80 on my boiler. So, how was I going to pay for this was the question that I had got. Sorry about that, guys. I just had somebody on the phone. My boiler was £388.80. So obviously I had to work out exactly how I was going to pay for that, because I only had £130 in my emergency fund. So that obviously wasn't going to cover it. I knew it was going to, I was going to need about £300. So I'd sort of worked out how I was going to cover the 300, but then obviously it's ended up being more. So I used the £130 out of my emergency fund. I had £24 in my house envelope. So I've taken that out of there. And then this month I'd budgeted for another £15 on top of what I'd already put into my emergency fund. So I've taken that. So I've already written it on my weekly sheets as if I've already stuffed it. But I haven't yet. Technically I haven't, but yeah, so all of the money that I was going to put into my emergency fund this week, I've put towards the boiler, because essentially that's what the emergency fund is for. I'd worked out that I had about £165.08 in my penny challenge, so I've banked that. And then because I needed more, because it was more expensive, I've taken £55 out of my roll the dice savings challenge that I do with my spends. So I have put a little IOU into this, not an IOU, a little note into the savings challenge envelope so that I know I've taken £55 out of there. If and when I've ever got chance to, if I've got chance to repay that back, then I will. But if not, at the end of the day, I've just used the money early for something that was needed. So in total, I've managed £388.88. Now, my mum paid the boiler man out from her bank account, transferred it straight over, because obviously I had all of mine in cash and coins and things, so he was never ever going to take that. So she paid, transferred it to his account from hers, and then I've banked all the money today so that when that's available I can transfer it straight over to her. So that is how I've paid for the boiler. It does mean that my emergency fund is at zero. It does mean that my penny challenge has not gone on what I wanted it to go on, and it does mean I've no longer got any money in my house fund either. But I've actually been able to pay for the boiler repairing, which I am more than happy with, and I've managed to do it without putting myself into debt. I've not had to put it onto credit cards. I've not had to essentially skint myself and then be worried about where I was going to find the money for the rest of my direct debits. I've not had to take it out for any of my savings pots, you know, for my credit card or, you know, my utilities or anything like that. And I can only put that down to this cash stuffing and cash budgeting. And of course, thank you to you guys, because of course of your sort of support and everything, it keeps me going, and that means that I am able to pay for emergencies like that in this way. So yeah, so that was the boiler yesterday. Today I have been to the supermarket again, and I ended up spending on my credit card £8.34 just for a couple of last minute things for my mum, because my mum's doing a buffet, so I've bought a couple of last little bits that she needed, and then £6 on lunch, which I've ended up paying for because I didn't have enough in my wallets, which basically means that all of the money from my wallets has now gone in my back to bank envelope to be cashed back in for the time being, which means I've got nothing left in here, obviously. So tomorrow should be a no spend because we won't be going anywhere, and to be honest, most places are closed anyway. So let's just bring you back up here. There we go. Oh, excuse me. So here is the budget that we've been doing. So we ended up with a rollover of £1,980.25. Anybody think I've been at work all week this week instead of just 3 days? My money came in from my utilities, which was actually £67, not the 66 I was expecting. And obviously I had the money, the £60 from my Save 60 savings challenge that I brought in. So that actually started us off with £2,107.25. So as you can see, not all of my direct debits have come out. Like I said, a lot of them are due tomorrow, which is the 1st of January, but it's a Sunday. Monday is then a bank holiday, so most of these actually probably won't go out till Tuesday anyway, so it wouldn't be part of this budget even if I'd have been doing this check-in tomorrow. So everything else pretty much went out, I think, as those that did go out with the prices that we expected. Yeah. The only one I'm going to mention is I paid my Very account off. I think I mentioned this on my last video. So with the Save 60, I've paid my Very account off and some extra onto my Freeman's account, but it wasn't in time to stop my direct debit from going out. So for some reason, because they've already called the direct debit, I have now got minus £5 on my Very account. I have phoned them before it went out to close the account, and it will close when my next statement's due. So I have contacted them to ask them how I get that £5 back, because obviously they owe me that now. But yeah, so the Very direct debit will be gone next month, which makes me feel good because it means I'm going into 2023 with one less debt. But yeah, so let's 19, 17, 36, 77. So actually my direct debits this week was only £532.24. So a lot less than I was expecting them to be. So that leaves us with £2,107.25. So that leaves us with £1,575 and a penny. So I was over on food. I actually spent £108.58. Fuel was under at £46.44. Spends, I didn't just spend that, did I? Because I've added something else on now. Plus £4.29. So yeah, so I had a little bit left. So it's actually £18.53 that I spent on spends. And £5 on miscellaneous. I'm not putting the credit cards down as unbudgeted because they don't go off out of my bank account. Obviously, they go off my credit card. So we actually spent, she says, although actually I've added the credit card spend for food on to this. So we did spend a little bit over, so £178.55 in total. So that leaves us with £1,396.46. I've got nothing left in any of my wallets, so obviously nothing's going to the Penny Challenge or to the Save 60, although the Save 60 is not the Save 60 anymore, it's actually the Puzzle Challenge, so I'll just need to change that on my others. So yeah, it's not actually the Save 60, it's the Puzzle Challenge. So we finished it without realising it. I put the £67 into utilities. I put £10 into emergency and £10 into gifts at the beginning. And then what I did from my Save 60 is I put £30 into my holiday fund and £30 I paid on my Debt So Very and Freeman's accounts. So that means we actually spent 30 plus 30 plus 10 plus 10 plus 67 is £147. So that's £1,249.46 left. And then my debt, I put £200 towards my family debt as planned. My overdraft was only actually 57p, and my credit card, I put the £100 on as expected. So that's actually taken us to £300.57. So that's £948.89. So a lot more than what we were expecting, but obviously we haven't all the direct debits haven't gone out, so that's fine. I've done the usual, and I've started this video because I'm doing it early and I'm rushing, and not actually checked my bank account to see how much money I've actually got. So what I will do is I'm not going to put the rollover amount on to my weekly check-in on this video. I will actually put it on once I've checked everything. And once I've checked everything, I'll then add it on so that we have a proper actual rather than a pretending. And I'll look at that in my next weekly check-in video to see how close it was. I'm going to love you and leave you on that one because my brain's gone again. It's like a usual thing with me. My next video will obviously be my cash stuffing for week 2 of January, which sounds weird when it's not actually going to be January until I've done the cash stuffing. But it is second week of my January budget. As always, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed and you would like to, then please click that button. I would love to have you as part of my little Dramatic Budgets family. Please give this video a like if you did like it. And of course, I always love to read your comments. So if you would like to pop something down, then please feel free. Hope you've all had an absolutely fantastic Christmas period. And I will see you in the new year. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.